So I went down a rabbit hole on creatine, and I found a study on how it might actually help your brain when you're running on no sleep. Now, I want to be upfront. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy who reads this stuff, so you don't have to. And today I want to walk you through what I found out. So I've been, taking creatine for a while, but honestly, for the most part, I always thought it was like a gym supplement, something for building muscle. What I didn't know is there's a study out of Germany published in Scientific Reports back in 2024 looking at whether creatine could help your brain function when you're sleep deprived. And the results genuinely surprised me. If you appreciate this kind of deep dive, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get going here. So here's the setup. Researchers took 15 healthy people and put them through a sleep deprivation protocol. Kept them up overnight, roughly 21 hours without sleep. During that time, they were given either a high single dose of creatine monohydrate or a placebo. And this was a double-blind, randomized crossover trial, meaning every participant went through both conditions. So they're essentially each their own control. So while they were sleep deprived, the researchers ran brain scans, specifically the type of MRI that can actually measure energy molecules inside the brain. Things like ATP, which is basically the energy currency your cells run on. And they paired that with a standardized cognitive test, memory processing speed, that kind of thing. So now here's the part that got my attention. In the group that got the creatine, they saw measurable changes in those brain energy markers, and the cognitive test scores held up better, in some cases actually exceeding their normal well-rested baseline. Processing speed improved. Some of the fatigue-related decline you'd expect from being up all night, got blunted. In the placebo group, none of that showed up. So now, before you go and dump the whole tub of creatine into your coffee, I want to be really clear about the dose here because this matters. The dose in the study was 0.35 grams per kilogram of body weight given as a single dose. If you do that math for an average adult, that's a lot of creatine. Way more than what most people take daily for general health or gym performance. Most people supplementing day to day are in the 2.5 to 5 gram range. So this was a specific high dose clinical scenario, not necessarily take this much every day recommendation. You can if you want. Creatine is a very safe supplement, but just saying you don't have to. What's the takeaway then? Basically, this tells us creatine is bioavailable to the brain, and it seems to matter more in high demand situations, like when you're exhausted, sleep deprived, mentally taxed. It's not proof that your average daily dose is going to do the same thing, but it does support something researchers have been saying for a while, which is that creatine isn't just a muscle thing. It's a brain thing too, because your neurons need that same energy system. If this kind of research breakdown you find helpful, drop a comment below and let me know, because I read every single one. And if there's a topic you want me to dig into next, please tell me. Now let's shift gears a little bit, because this is where I want to be really honest with you. While I was researching this, I also went looking into where creatine actually comes from, because you'll see a lot of talk online about German creatine versus creatine sourced out to China. And I want to walk you through what I found, because I think it's more nuanced than people make it sound. A lot of higher end creatine brands use raw material manufactured in Germany, often through a purification process that's marketed under names like Creapure. The pitch is that this process filters out certain byproducts and impurities that can show up in lower cost raw material. And some brands test every batch using a lab method called HPLC, which basically checks potency and purity. Now, is German source creatine cleaner? Based on what I found out, it does appear that way, at least according to the manufacturing claims and the testing standards some of these companies use. But here's my honest take, and I want to say this clearly. That does not mean you have to go and buy German creatine specifically. I'm not telling you your current creatine is bad or what you're wasting, or that you're wasting your money if it's not from Germany. What I'm telling you is that it is what I found out in my own research. And it's part of why I personally lean towards the German sourced option when I'm choosing a product. That's my choice for my own peace of mind. You're more incapable of looking at the label yourself and deciding what matters to you. So a quick break, I want to mention the creatine I personally use and have on my website is German sourced, CreaPure certified, and it's an affiliate link, meaning if you buy through it, I earn a small commission on that at no extra cost to you. So full disclosure right here. You can check it out down in the description and the pinned comment below, along with links to the actual study I walked you through, so you can read it for yourself and don't have to just take my word for it. And now look, at the end of the day, creatine monohydrate, regardless of where it's sourced, is one of the most researched supplements out there. The sourcing conversation is really about purity and manufacturing standards, not about whether creatine itself works. So don't let the sourcing debate distract you from the bigger picture, which is that this is a supplement with real research behind it, including apparently some benefit for your brain under stress. I'd love to know, have you noticed any difference mentally or physically since you started taking creatine? Or are you still on the fence about even trying it? Drop that in the comments below. And like I said earlier, I read every one, and I may do a follow-up video on that. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I will catch you on the next one.